Alright, a few things to go over. First one would be modifiers. Let's say I go into a burger, I'll do a Cobb salad. Let's say I add tofu, no avocado, light bacon, and sub oil vinegar, whatever. Now keep in mind this screen here, I'm going to want something in a second. If I hit OK, when I go to modify this, I can't modify something that's gone. I can modify each individual modifier column that I've looked at, but I can't do the one, so I have to delete this whole entire item and then start from scratch just to do my cell romaine, then continue from there. Second one is time send. Now the problem with this is it works, but when it doesn't work, we don't know till it's too late. So if for some reason the program is not responding, it'll behave as if the item is working, but we won't see it hit out 5 minutes, and we don't know that till it's obviously been too late. If you have a 20-minute hold or a 20-minute time send, it doesn't work. Next up would be the way item holds. Could be something I'm doing wrong, but it looks a little weird to me. So if I want to hold, we used to have the hold buttons here, but we don't use them anymore because it just seems odd. Ideally it would be a toggle, but if I want to just hold my steak sandwich and I hit hold item toggle, I get holding items. And what is that doing? I don't know. If I go to send, both things are sent. So then if I turn that toggle off, I'll do some new things. And then if I click on the jalapeno burger, I want to hold that item. I can hold it, and then I can send. But the toggle, it's weird to me that it's like that. I set this guy. Send that. We have had issues with taking payments with actually splitting the check. I can't really reproduce that now. I've been trying to. I'll work on that more. What I do have is on the payment side of things. Now when I go to settle this check, the two common complaints right now are this total of $91.80. If somebody gives me 2 credit cards and a $20 bill, and they want to put the 20 on first and then split the rest down the middle, the computer's not intuitive enough to do that. So if I want to put 20 bucks in, I've got that. Now you would think if I go to split amounts, or if when I go to the credit card, which I'll do next, it should be taking my split off of the balance as opposed to the total. Because now what happens plenty of times is the server, I'll just go split it in half, and now it's splitting the card. It's splitting the amount of a $45 as opposed to the off of 71. So now the other issue we have is, I'll do it again just for the hell of it. I'm going to go to EMV and I'm going to split it in half. Follow instructions on payment device. So now on my payment device, I'm going to get that in focus there. I'm going to put the card in wrong to show what happens if the card is a read error. If I put that in, please remove card, and it immediately kicks me out. There's no like trial, there's no anything, and then I get error processing transaction, and I get a nice stack of different papers. So if, other systems I've seen, even when I have an issue at a Home Depot, it gives me 3 tries, and then from there, then it'll have me swipe. But right now I gotta back out and I gotta try it again to get my actual thing. So that's it seems to be some sort of error that's being worked out, hopefully. But that's something that we run into a few times, where it'll kick us out, give us error messages, and we've got Transaction not completed for 45. Error processing. Transaction not completed. Transaction not completed for $0. Invoice not found. Transaction not completed. Error. Invoice not found. Customer copy. And response approved. Transaction not completed. So I don't quite know about that. So the fact that this is not intuitive enough to split the balance as opposed to the total or what's there has been a frustrating point. Jumping around a little bit on the manager side of things. On the manager side of things, we 86 stuff more than I'd like to here, but when we have muscle memory developed on this screen. So I know the jalapeno burgers, top left, I know Southwest is down there. When the Southwest salad is 86th, I go to miscellaneous and I'll do my in-stock quantity. Now I gotta spend time to try to find it up here. It looks like it's probably based on the item number in the back end, but it's kind of frustrating and ridiculous to have to go through here when we can see it on the screen. Same thing holds true for one of the features that we were excited for, is modifying an item on the fly. Now, the reason we wanted this is because we change our beers very frequently. However, this is only a baby step and it doesn't do anything for us because of the inability to really modify the item compared to other systems where you can modify every bit of the item and even add a new item. For us, we use happy hour pricing, so we use item level price level 1, price level 2. So if my Grimm changes over, I'm going to menu, I'm going to edit a menu item. Again, I have to find where it is compared to where it was originally on the screen that I just looked at to find it. So I hit Grimm, I would edit this, which again, as far as reporting goes, I hate the fact that I'm editing because I'm losing that sales data of this current item. But I hit OK. Item price. Let's say I wanted to keep that price. Let's say I wanted to jump that up to $9. I won't, but pretend that's $9. And then it just goes there. So I have no flexibility to switch my second price level, which I would have to, if I increase the price level 1 $1, I have to increase price level 2 by the same dollar amount. So I'm not, basically the edit menu item doesn't work for the use case that we want. If it's a typo or something, great, but things like on-the-fly redirects or on-the-fly modifiers that we would see coming into the kitchen where it would be a really benefit, we don't have that benefit because we can't edit the modifiers and stuff like that. I guess there's a macro button we could program in to get to the back office, but as far as looking at what newer cloud-based systems can do, that's not going great. Another one is our managers are all security level 5. So one thing that we have an issue with is another manager can't get into mine because of the way the security levels are authorized, which I understand part of the reason for it, but on looking at it from just the user experience, I want a manager to be able to open up another manager's table, and they can't, so they'll have to call me, and I have a second admin password that I can use with a higher security clearance that I can clear out, but that kind of defeats the point if I'm giving them a higher clearance to do that on a regular basis. Let's see, what else we got here? Similar idea, if I want to clock an employee in or out, the fact that I can't organize this list based on the alphabet, last name, first name, and I'm forced into a numbering system is ridiculous. When we're all about trying to save seconds here and there, and this is just to punch in Angelia, to punch in Buddis and Eric, I'm having to go find it. I'm scrolling through pages to try to find out where they are. Nobody remembers their number, even when I ask them what their number is. Nobody uses that number because they use a pin for their punch in. So these numbers to me are just for back-end nomenclature, and it doesn't do anything for what we need, and the fact that we can't organize, it's frustrating. Jumping around some more nitpicky stuff, but I'll throw all of it here, is the whole way that gift cards, it's just a curious way, and not something I'm used to, but that's just something between the activate redemption increment. It's just something odd. Let's see. Time send, split check, EMV error, modifier, pin error, gift cards. Manage between table. Another frequent thing we have, I'll try to replicate it up front here first. There could be a good reason for it, but as far as we used to with our former system, if the paper, as you can see here, the ribbon, it's starting to show, if the paper ran out and a server needed to reproduce the credit card transaction, they could do that themselves, meaning reprint the slips. In this case, we can't do that because it's all bumped into one function button of credit card options to reprint their transaction, and I don't want them having access to the rest of the stuff, for example. But if I get a reprint transaction, first off, the interface of this is kind of funky. But if I want to find an old check, I don't think I can filter by 2 different degrees. So I can filter by employee. I can filter by employee. But now if I wanted to drill down to the next level, so I've got a bunch of transactions from Steph on different dates. If I want to filter by the date now, and I want to pick the 18th, now it's jumped me back to all of them. So if I'm trying to quickly navigate through and try to find a check for whatever reason to recall something either the same day, or in this case I'm just showing you how we can't drop it down. I can only filter one way, then have to scroll and categorize. And also I understand this is basically just mirroring something, a Microsoft program, but it's just not pretty. So that's that. Same thing holds true with credit card numbers. Trying to find a check by a credit card number, which will also show in the back end, is if I want to find the check by the transaction, which a lot of times our biggest thing is somebody will call up and say, I was overcharged, or can you reprint itemized receipt for me? They know their date, they may not know the server, they'll know possibly the amount, but most often it's a credit card. And I can't filter by the last 4 of the credit card. I don't see any way of doing that, and that's the most frequent, easy way to do it, to pull up credit card stuff. That's it for now. All right, one of the issues we're having on the bar side of things, which is one of the main reasons we got this, was how tabs were organized. Having the UPC code, or the scannable code on the bottom of all the checks, has been a huge time saver. But now switching over to EMV, because of, I believe, separate hardware, starting the tab with a card starts off like it normally did. Now it starts off like it normally did. CC tab good, and we'd normally be done. Not logged in. Okay. But now I have to take that second step, where ideally, and on other systems with a built-in chip EMV reader, that swipe step is bypassed and just pulling off the chip. So it's taking up a little bit of time and done. So on our speed of transaction with the bar, where that's an issue, that takes a little bit of time, because now finally after that, now we're ready to start ringing stuff in. So I understand this kitchen video is kind of a third party, but this is another thing that we need, and this is what we have, and because of that, some of these issues is a reason why we're having some frustrations. I love the fact that it's super customizable. I made color scheme, I did icons, I got it to maximize the space for what we need the best possible way. Frustrating part is we can't get it to save memory on these columns. It's great that I can move this stuff, but for example, this right now, because of the setup issues, we're not using the L, and the quantity I'm moving to here, and the seat I want there. So basically every day I have to reset that, because it seems like every morning it forgets. There's no way to save it that we've restarted it, so we save it and we still can't get it to save. But I do it with the mouse, great. But what'll happen is, because there's no way to lock that, in the speed of moving stuff, if I'm bumping Kid's Pizza, I miss it, and I hit this by accident, and then I move something, I'm already now middle of the rush, I lost that, and then to get it back, I can't click and drag the other way, so I have to get my mouse back out, hit the quantity, bring it back, and then we're back in business. So that's a frustrating little bug that we seem to can't knock. I also don't know how to get rid of the seat number on the modifier. Maybe that's doable, but to clean it up would be, instead of having one would be one spaces, then to the next item down there. If I bump a few of these off, great. So a lot of times we'll need to use the recall function, which is great, but when I recall, this is all the data it's giving me. I would love to see it give me what the actual items were, or an option to. Other systems I've seen, it would recall the checks up to the front, but just at a quick glance, 9 times out of 10 we want to recall the check to either see the table number or see what food it is. But when we've got 15 of these showing and we're running 2 or 3 items every 2 to 3 minutes, for me to find out, like at the bar, okay, great, it was run to the bar, but which bar item was it? Where am I running this? And I don't know. So the ability to have a recall is great, but it's leaving some to be desired. Another thing that we've gotten used to not having it, was when everything was bumped, it used to jump to the front. So part of using a kitchen display is to make it do some of the work for you. And one of those things that was helpful was, on a busy night, we have maybe an appetizer here of avocado fries that was by itself, and it was the fry guy bumped it, it would jump right to the front, so you know exactly what you're looking at pulling. Another issue kind of with that we have frustrations with is, let's see. Let's use this salmon tostada as an example. We're going to pretend the salmon tostada goes to the grill station, so the grill kitchen video, and the salad station. So we've got it's routed to 2 separate screens. What will happen is they finish the salmon part. So grill finishes their part first. It's easy for them, it's a 2-minute thing, they bump it off. Now immediately it switches to prepared for the whole item. But salad still hasn't finished the salad portion, and it's going to take them another 8 minutes. So I'm looking at a full row of green items, but in reality I have nothing ready because I only have parts of one thing and the other thing. So where this is supposed to make it easy for me to be able to at a glance look, I can't, because a lot of times it also happens with fries. If I have to send fries, a jalapeno burger with fries, they bump the fries off immediately. My burger's done in 30 seconds according to the prepared screen, when in reality they're just throwing it on the grill. Another kind of issue with these, the great part is the printer. I have the option to disable the Expo printer. I've never known what these things do, but I guess I'll never need to.
Good morning.
Good morning. And what was the other thing? And then the biggest issue we have with this system right now is the fact that we want to stagger our timing. And for what we have an open kitchen where we try not to be as loud because we're right behind people. I want to be able to time a sandwich tostada as a prep time of 10 minutes, and I want to have a steak sandwich of 1 minute, and I want it fired. And the fact that this doesn't do it when I can see that it should be able to based on the programming on the back end, I guess it's just a communication between the two systems, is pretty frustrating. That like one of the best advantage to have this in our use isn't available. We do server firing, and a lot of times what we'll have is we'll have a steak coming up on our fry side is very efficient, and they just, to have it intuitive done for them instead of us having to fire food separately is what we need, and we just don't have it. Here's the messages I get from the password reset sent to my phone for the loyalty program. Right off the bat, it's not showing me where it's from, which if it comes immediately, it shouldn't be an issue, but if I click on it, the site's not mobile optimized, which if it's being sent to a cell phone, you'd think it should be. And if I have to increase it, not really branded, just a basic boilerplate password reset. And we'll do RM City exclamation point. RM City exclamation point. Password has been created successfully. Return to logon page. Restaurant manager loyalty management portal. Nothing about CityLine, nothing to show that it's coherent with our brand. My username, I believe, is my cell phone, 518-314-0564. That was the other thing that frustrated me at the beginning, come to think of it. I got a username or email address. If I'm defaulting everybody to sign up with their cell phone number, they're going to get confused right off the bat, especially if we're going for an older demographic using this loyalty program. And then my password is RM City exclamation point. Login. And then we get this. So it's just, I have 10 points, great, back to main menu, select emergent CityLine, but even, it just doesn't look good. And that sounds crazy, but for us to be putting a lot of money and effort into our branding, into our marketing, into our design, and then to have something that's difficult and not really intuitive, all the words listed below, I'm eligible for the highlighted things. Customer, I don't know what it's broken images. So that's my issue with the loyalty program in a nutshell right there.